Alright, hello fun and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Biotic Blaster mod, which is being made by user Coral Fang. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is an absolutely awesome new smart blaster that can heal your allies, but still do damage to your enemies. And I love that because it means that you, as the player, can now basically play as the support character for your group of people, and I actually really like that. And the weapon itself is inspired apparently by I don't play Overwatch, but Juno's Meta Blaster in Overwatch, and can do quite a number of different effects to not just heal, as I mentioned before, but also buff your allies in various ways and hinder your enemies in various ways, depending on the barrel that you choose for the gun down there, which is pretty cool, and we'll go over all that in a little bit. But I just love the idea behind this of being a proper support weapon so that you can basically play the medic, which is kind of fun. I like that idea. So let's jump on over here and have a look at exactly what we do get with the Biotic Blaster pistol, which in its most basic and standard form as you find it, will do 35 energy damage and 1 frost damage, with a biotic fusion cell, with a firing rate of 28, a range of 119, accuracy of 77, for a pretty minimal weight of 2.5. Not too bad there at all. And as you can see, the thing is kind of a strange mix, in my opinion, between like Alien Blaster and Institute stuff, though it is definitely Zeton technology. More on that in a moment as to why that is. But yes, this is very much an alien gun that is a support weapon to help their various alien friends, but now you get your hands on one, and it's pretty interesting. It is, of course, a very large, bulky, bulbous pistol, but it certainly does the job. Now, as for modifications down here, there's not a whole lot to it. In fact, it's a very minimal number of modifications on this thing, which is honestly, I think, a little bit unfortunate. I wish there were a few more. What you would put on it, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you, but I just feel like there could be more things here. I think especially maybe in the mag category, because right now the two things you got in there are basically either semi-automatic or fully automatic fire for the gun. And that's it. It would be cool to see maybe some different sizes of magazines for it, just to, you know, add a little bit more there. But yes, for the moment, it is a very minimal list of things. So this gun is never going to really be anything that much different from when you initially find it in the world. Now, as for how you do get your hands on this weapon, well, I may have a crap load of them, as you can see here, because I spawned them all in with console commands. In reality, though, you're only ever going to have one. The one singular weapon that you find in the world, and you will find it down over by Grey Garden. Just behind one of the overpass pillars there, you will find a very unfortunate dead Zeton, who will have this gun on him along with some of the custom ammunition, and next to him, very importantly, will be a note that you're definitely going to want to grab, because once you do have that note in hand, it does allow you to go to any chemistry station in the world and at the very least make the ammunition for this thing. You are going to need either chemist or science in here, but you've got 3 different ways to make it. The first 2 here will just be able to make it in larger batches. This one allows you to use it with alien blaster rounds. These ones use microfusion rounds instead. But either way, it's going to take a fair amount of materials, as you can see here, and of course those skills. And yeah, so it is going to be a bit much to make this ammo, which is why one of the modifications may come in handy, which again we'll talk about here in a second. And other than that, though, yeah, that's really all you got there. You've got the one Biotic Blaster in the world that you will grab. That's in fact that one right there I put on that rack. And the rest, well, I just spawned those because, I mean, realistically, you're gonna be the only person ever using this. It's you being the support person. Your allies, your NPC allies, are never going to be shooting each other to help one another. They're only ever gonna use this to shoot the enemy. So yes, it makes sense that there's only one for you, because you're the only one smart enough to know that this will actually help your people. Now let's take a look at the modifications that we do have, as even though there aren't many, it is very important because of the different kinds of support you can do with this gun. But we'll actually look at the other parts first, so you can see the basic modifications. So in the grip category, we've got a standard grip and also a sharp shooter's grip to help with recoil and hipfire accuracy. In the magazine category, like I said, we either have the semi-automatic or an automatic. But what I didn't mention before, but kind of alluded to when I was just talking about making the biotic fusion cells and how difficult they are, you can also change the whole thing over to microfusion cells. It does reduce the ammo capacity, so you're not going to have as many shots per magazine, but, you know, microfusion cells are a lot more readily available than the biotic fusion cells over there. But otherwise, besides the reduced ammo capacity, the gun's going to work exactly the same stat-wise, so you don't got to worry about that in the slightest. And again, with the microfusion, you also have those in automatic or semi-automatic. Now then, in the sights category, we've only got two options, I guess. The standard sights that come with it, and a short scope, and that's it. I definitely wish there was some more in here, like a hollow sight or something, as, would make it a lot easier for shooting the right person, frankly. Short scopes, I think, a bit much in how you'll use this a lot of the time. But, oh well, that's what we've got for now. Hopefully we see some updates to this in the future. That would be cool. Now, the big category is this one up here. This is how you change this gun to the different kinds of team support. So by default, it starts with the Stim X up here, the stem cell canister, and this is your basic one that if you shoot your allies with it, it heals them. If you shoot an enemy, it drains their health away, which is a pretty freaking nice and always good to have. And also, some of that life does come back to you, apparently, which is handy. Now, we then have the bioadhesive canister, which is a bit different. It's going to basically shoot out goo. And on the first shot, hitting an enemy, it will stagger them. If you shoot them again real quick, it'll paralyze them. So, which is nice, then your people can just shoot them at will. Now, if you shoot your allies with this one instead, it's going to basically harden their armor and give them additional damage resistance, which is pretty sweet. Now, next is the combat canister here, and against an enemy, this will do cryo damage to them. And there's also a 25% chance of doing fire or lightning damage as well, but the main one is cryo damage. Now, as for your allies, it's going to enhance them with, well, tri-elemental damage. They get all the damages to hit the enemy with, which is pretty fun. And the final one with Neurobiotic Canister is a strange serum that affects the neural tissue of people there. And for your enemies, it's going to cause frenzy, a chance of fear, and debuffing their strength and endurance. Now, as for your allies, it's going to boost their speed, their aim stability, their reload speed, and give them 5 strength, which is all pretty cool. So it's, you know, gonna heavily modify your allies there. God, especially that 5 strength one, man. If you got some melee friends with you, they're gonna start hitting hard. And yeah, the reload speed on the guns and aiming accuracy also will be pretty darn useful. And of course, you know, when you have these, you have just, you know, the one, like you always would with any gun. You choose which type of damage you're wanting to do, and you're going to do it. Or at least that's how this would normally work if it was a normal weapon. See, fun thing about those 4 different types of damage, if you keep... Oh, wait, not... There we go, inventory. If you keep those in your inventory... If I keep the Bio-Goo Combat and Neural Barrels here in my inventory, I can actually switch on the fly between them. Now, if I don't have these in here, it'll be like any other gun, and you're just gonna get the damage or the, aid to your allies of whatever barrel you're using. But if you still have these in your inventory and keep them here, all you gotta do whenever you got the gun out is melee. And there you go. It opens up a little bit of UI here, and I can switch over to the goopy. And then hit again. Oh, now we can go neuro. Hit again and go combat. Or hit once more and go back to the Stim X. There we are. So yes, if you don't keep the barrels in your inventory, it'll be like any other gun with, how that sort of functions. You just have that one kind of damage. But if you keep them all in there on your person at all times, you can switch on the fly, which is great. So let's take a look at how these do function here. Most of them basically function the same. There is one that's very unique and different, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a second. But first, with the Stim X. There you go, as you can see, pretty basic sort of, alien blaster energy weapon sort of fire. Nothing too special there. And even with the reload, nothing too grandiose there. It's, like with the alien blaster. And if we go to, say, the neuro shot here, it's going to be the same thing. And similarly, if we go to the combat, once again, the same thing. The only one that has a visual difference, which honestly I'm a little bit disappointed by. I wish all of them had a unique thing, but the only one that had an actual visible difference is the goopy. If we go to that, well, as you can see, it put a thing in the world. Whatever this massive goo is meant to be. And what's fun about this is, well, one, it actually lasts a little while. Not forever, it will eventually go away, but it does last for a fair amount of time. So you can actually, like, construct with this. Look what I made. So theoretically, you could build up like a little sandbag barrier with these things, or, as I've already kind of started working on here, a ramp to get to a spot you might feel better to be in or just want to get up to explore. And that's kind of cool. Also a little weird, but, perfectly doable. So you can actually make yourself like a little staircase to places, which is neat. Or, like I said, a little impromptu defense. Oh, there we go. We had that disappear. I had a few too many out there, I guess. So yeah, it's not permanent. It's not going to be for the longest of times. You're going to have to do whatever you need to do fairly quick, but still fun. So let us try this against some enemies. I did not go grab an ally anywhere because, frankly, the buffs, besides the healing, are kind of hard to tell with the allies. Sure, a wounded ally getting healed, that is very visible, but all the other things like the damage differences and the additional strength, it's hard to see on the video here. So we're going to focus on the effects on enemies in this episode, but rest assured, all the ally things do work. So let's place a just random bandit out here. And there we go. As you can see, he was dying and I was healing. Now, you don't get much of his health by a long shot. They take a lot more damage than you get healed, but still, that nice little extra bit of health there is pretty handy. And I do like that it is kind of a damage over time thing with them. It is very much sort of just draining their health there as it goes into me, which is lovely. So you can just like shoot one and then, shoot your friend to heal them up a bit. It works quite well. Now then, if we go to, let's do the goop next. There we are.
First mistake.
And there we go, staggered and then paralyzed. Ha-ha! And it is also killing them too. Any one of these will actually do damage, which for simple bandits like this is probably going to kill most of them. Tougher enemies, of course, won't suffer nearly as much damage. But yes, with every one of the different barrels, you are going to still get some damage out there against your enemies. So let's go to the next one, the Neurostim. And
The hell?
where you at? There we go.
I'll
Oh,
find you.
let's see if we can get some fear out of one of them.
Fine, keep
Step.
your shit.
Oh, yep, he had fear. Except he seems to have conquered it. But it did stop him from fighting for a bit. His friends, he did definitely frenzy. He was looking for someone else to attack, but couldn't find it, so kept shooting. He did eventually get that fear thing there. And, of course, you know, still taking that damage and getting those strength and endurance debuffs. So let's see the final one, the combat here. And pop that one down.
Now it's on.
There we go. My God, that killed him real good. That did a lot of damage to him. But of course, also the cold damage. Hello. Oh, wow. Yeah, this one's a little bit more tough on them than I thought. But, you know, I figured this gun still might be a bit too little for a Deathclaw. Now I'm thinking maybe I should have spawned a Deathclaw too. I figured the bandits would be better to display with, but they're dying a little bit more soon than I would have liked. Oh God, and now I'm very, very hurt. But, oh well, stim pack, there we are. So yes, yeah, maybe I should have gotten a Deathclaw, but oh well, it was still very visible seeing the different effects of these different rounds on the enemy. I still think my favorite, just by default, is the Stim X one. I like the idea of still doing damage to an enemy, getting healed myself, and being able to heal my allies. That is pretty darn cool, and at its most basic form, you know, the kind of team support I like to do. Like in other games that I've played in the past, especially multiplayer ones, I like to play the medic. And so the Stim X one is definitely my favorite here. I'd have to say the second favorite is probably the Goopy one, just because it's kind of ridiculous, and I love it. You just goo them, paralyze them, or do some building with them. Your choice. It's just such a strange gun, and I really do like it. But the fact that we can have multiples of these barrels on us at any point and just have fun with any barrel we want is pretty great, and I think makes this gun just a whole heck of a lot of fun. Plus the fact that it auto-detects enemy or allies so you never have to worry about accidentally doing damage to your friends is amazing. I really, really do enjoy that. And overall though, it's just a neat weapon that I very much have enjoyed my time with, has an easy method for switching, and is just a whole lot of fun. So if you'd like to take a look at it for yourself, which I certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description of the vehicle description of the video, as per usual. But that, my friends, is going to be it for this one today. Hopefully you have enjoyed, and you do come back for whatever mod it is that we look at next. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, we'll have a good one.